So today's book club, our topic is the first three chapters of the Lord of Flies. So let's begin with three reading chat ideas, and um you will share your thoughts and ideas on these questions. So the first one is the fourth question. What was your favorite sentence from the assigned reading, and why was this sentence your favorite? Share with your group. So let's start with Tina.
Okay. Um, shall I just read the sentence?
Mhm.
Just actually a passage. Um, he's not Fatty, cried Ralph. His real name is Piggy. Piggy, Piggy, oh, Piggy. A storm of laughter arose, and even the thinnest child joined in. For a moment, the boys were close to crusade of sympathy with Piggy outside. He went very pink, bowed his head, and cleaned his glasses again. Well, it's actually like my favorite sentence because I feel like this passage is filled with dialogue and also the descriptions and depictions of Piggy's like what does he look after he feel and hear the words of the children's. You just feel like very pink, like he went shy because they call him Piggy, which is the name he doesn't really like. And also he bowed his head and cleaned his glasses. And I found that glasses is actually like a symbolism of Piggy. Um, as we read the passage, we can know that Piggy is a boy who has asthma, and also he wears glasses, which is like two things he's kind of like proud of because he is unique just because he has these two characteristics. Not many other children around him wear glasses or have asthma, and these glasses can actually be a symbolism of him.
Okay. Um, yeah, that basically describes what Ralph did when the kids they first met and they were collecting their names. And yeah, Piggy told Ralph that the only thing that he don't want others call him is Piggy, but Ralph like betrayed him and told the other boys that they could call him Piggy. Yeah. And next, Jackie.
Okay, so my favorite sentences is he was intimidated by his this uniformed superiority and the offhand authority in Marjorie's voice. The reason why I like this sentence is because I really like the word offhand authority, and because this is the casual and dismissive way in which the boys exercise power over Ralph and Piggy without any regret for their feelings or opinions. It also emphasizes the sense of impunity and immunity that the boys feel as if they above the rules and laws of society.
Mhm. Yeah, I also think the same. It's they try to like establish the rules on the island. Yeah. And what about Jasmine?
So my favorite sentence is that as we watched, a flash of fire appeared at the root of one wisp, and then the smoke thickened. Small flames stirred at the trunk of the tree and crawled away through leaves and brushwood, dividing and increasing. And one patch touched a tree trunk and screamed like a bright squirrel. The smoke increased, rolled outwards, and the squirrel left on the wings of the wind and clung to another standing tree. And beneath the dark canopy of leaves and smoke, the fire laid hold on the forest and began to gnaw. And um, the flames, as though they were a kind of wildlife, crept as a Jagger creeps on its belly toward a line of birch-like saplings that fledged on an outcrop of a pink rock, and they flap at the first of the trees, and the branches grow a brief foliage of life, of fire. I love this sentence because I think this description of fire is very vivid, and it uses many rhetorical devices, just like simile or metaphor. And also, the children's movements, mood, and scenery are very well combined, I think. It's describing the novelty, urgency, and subtle, like psychological changes in their hearts.
Yeah, I also um noticed this sentence because it used a lot of verbs and like personifications to describe the movement of the fire and give the readers a perfect imagination, imagery to how the fire spread across the island. Yeah. And so my favorite sentence is the one Pickett said when they had their first assembly. It is, I agree with Ralph. We've got to have rules and obey them. After all, we're not savages. We're English, and English are best at everything. So we've got to do the right things. And this quotation from Piggy basically summarized the um how to say the wisest boy among the all the boys, Piggy, and his thoughts, and um, he think that they should have rules and they should obey the rules, but this is like the core of the entire novel, and it's about obedience and obeying the rules and true humanity. So this sentence is like a beginning of um the author's discussion towards um the question about what is actually the real humanity. Yeah. And the second question is that fill in the blank. The single most important moments from the assigned reading was what, and share it and debate your responses with your group. Yeah. So we'll also start with Tina.
Well, I think the most important moment from the assigned reading is just the cooperation of the group members, and also like we work as a team. We everybody just have their own duties and finish one task by us four and together. Yeah.
Okay, it's cooperation. What about Jackie?
So I think the most important moment is the time is the moment when they begin to choose the leader, because I think uh uh almost the whole story is surrounding like the corporation and and some others like empire things, imperialist. And so I think it is a compare with the later plot, and because they choose the leader at the very beginning, but they will find later that it is not useful. Which something useful is power. So most of the followers change to follow the Jack, and I think it is a compare comparative.
Okay. I also have a few thoughts about this part. It's after after Ralph called the assembly with the conch, and uh, Jack he had a group of followers, the members of the chore, I think, yeah, and they because they had to obey Jack, they choose to follow Jack and vote him as the leader. But other boys, since Ralph was the one who called the meeting and called all of them into this assembly, so they choose to follow Ralph. And the other boys from the chore, they, after seeing that other boys choose to follow Ralph, they um also betrayed Jack and they vote for Ralph. So this is um pretty much how people conform and follow others like thoughts and behaviors in the society. And as the plot progresses, and you'll find that actually this book is full of conflicts between the two potential leaders, Jack and Ralph. And yeah, you'll find out with your reading. What about Jasmine?
So I think the most important moment from the reading is at the chapter 3. When Ralph and Simon they work on building shelters, but most boys are more interested in playing than in maintaining the signal fire. And I think at this moment the tension between order and chaos becomes more evident. And this also showcases the challenges of establishing a civilized society in the midst of their like isolation, because I think from the previous two chapter, although the boy like they choose the leader and they found several groups, I think their relationship was not very harmonious, and they also did not cooperate very well. Yeah.
Mm, okay, it's also about cooperation. Yeah, and the next question is your plot prediction with textual evidence. What do you think that it will happen next? Are there going to be any like chaos or anything interesting? Share your opinion. Tina.
I feel like there will be chaos in each other because they like, as we already see, they contend with each other and they have contradictory ideas, and also they, because they're already divided into many parts and each part have different ideas and they're totally opposite with each other, so they may just have more and more disagreements.
Mm. Disagreement and conflict. What about Jackie?
I think something that can predict this the later thing, which is while all the people are choosing the Ralph to be the leader, and in the book it only shows a short moment that Jack like feels really upset and really feels unfair about about the leader, their choices, and I think this will lead to the later plot, which the Jack will make like a new group, like create a new group and break the original rules which made by Roth.
Mm. Yeah, it's actually you're right about this. Because at about chapter 7 or chapter 8, Jack um he and Ralph they had a fight, and Jack said that he was fed up with Ralph and he decided to quit. He no longer followed Ralph's order, and he asked who want to go with him. And yeah, there will be a conflict and you will read about it. Yeah. And Jasmine?
Mhm. I think it is when I just found the textual evidence that they worked forward together, but as strangers meet, feelings are unable to communicate, and they looked at each other in bewilderment, love, hate. The warm salt water of the bathing pool, the playfulness, the splashing, the laughter were just enough to bring them together again. And also, there is another textual evidence that he grabbed his spear and plunged it into the mud. A vague wild look came back into his eyes, and Ralph looked at him critically through his lock of the blonde hair. And I think both of them show that there is an internal conflict between the main character like Ralph and Jack and others. And I think in the like following chapter, they will the chaos and their conflict will becoming um, more evident, and they must solve this. If they don't solve it, it will turn into a very serious question.
Yeah. Yeah, you all talked about like conflicts and the fight between Jack and Ralph. Do you have any thoughts about like other those younger boys, and how would they act in the future plots? Do you have any thoughts? Jackie, do you have any thoughts about them?
If maybe like in the paragraph 3, and Ralph is talking about like all the a lot of children are playing instead of working, are instead of doing things that they should do. And I think like I don't think the children are not really follow the rules. They just think there's a leader, they can just like, they don't do anything, they can just they can get help or get protected by the leader. And later, when Jack quit and quit, well, because Jack is stronger than the Ralph, can provide more things, and the children, well, like children is they also quit the Ralph's group, and they turn into like they work they go with the Jack. And I think also the children are like, they're not the group is not what they care about. I think what they really care about is their safety and their happiness. Like though it is in like on an island without any like adults.
Yeah, my thoughts are pretty much the same. The little ones, they are young, and it's the same for most of the boys except from Piggy and Ralph, who are the ones who think the most. They concern about being saved and being rescued, and they thought about their like future lives on the island. They build huts, they planned, they do plans, but for other boys, the only thing that they care is about being happy, like because now they currently they have abundance of like clothes and shoes. They don't their clothes are still on, and they don't need to concern about food because they can eat fruits on the island. And so the only thing that they concern now, there aren't any adults on the island, is their own happiness. So they'll just follow like the call from Jack that they should go hunting, because hunting is what boys they want to do. And they don't plan, and this I think pretty much predicts their future, like um chaos of not having enough resources and not planning enough. And this might lead to like deviation. Yeah. And yeah, the first part is over, and the second part is summarize. And please summarize the uh first 3 chapters of the book, and point out any interesting point if you have any. Yeah, so we'll start with Tina.
Well, the first 3 chapters just about at the first we learned that one plane that flies to like crashes near an island on like the region of Pacific Ocean, and there are no adults survived, and the only survivors are the little boys and one of the boy named Ralph, and he got to know his Piggy, which is a fat boy. And also after that they found a conch, and Ralph uses the conch as a horn to like to use it to symbolize like to gather all the survivors together in the place, and also like he wants to become leaders of this place, and then he made up some of the rules, and like they also like they want to have fun to survive and maintain a signal that can make others notice them. And then they met like Jack, which is a red-haired boy, and also a boy named Simon, which is quiet but always gives some ideas. And after that, they began to live on the island, and most of the boys just do nothing. But Ralph is just trying to improve the life on the island, and then they become like contradictory to each other, and they begin to like have opposite ideas.
Okay. That's very detailed. And Jackie, do you have anything to add? Maybe about the fire or about other things? Yeah.
What I find is like in the I think in the chapter 3, like something the conflict maybe is like to be the beginning, like Ralph is always thinking what they should do in order to get safe, and and Jack is always thinking I want a big, we're hungry, I just want like maybe just want to live on the island. And I think the question, something interesting is like, the Ralph is always try to establish and civilization and order, but while Jack tries to establish brain domination. And how does and I think this will reflect that their different values and world views.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Jasmine, can you summarize like how they set up the fire and like how they plan to live on the island?
I wanna say maybe the boys used flint and steel to light a fire, and I wanna add that the thing that the little Lang said that is horrifying is a beast that they claim to have seen, and they describe it as a creature that comes out at night and terrifies them, and the little Lang's fear and vivid imaginations um like contribute to the idea of a mythical beast on the island, and the children have not find out what actually it is, and it caused a lot of chaos among them, and also the old boys particularly the elder one like Raph and Jack they react total differently. While Raph tries to reassure them that there is no real beast, Jack takes advantage of their fear to strengthen his control and influence over the group. And also, I think um, the beast becomes a symbol of the boys' growing um, internal and external conflicts on the island. Yeah, and this is actually how the elder one react to this.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of the first three chapters. And yeah, about the beast. The beast would actually play a pretty important role in the later plots, and it would like symbolize how the boys their true thoughts is, and through their reactions toward this beast you can see what they are actually thinking and what are they really is. Yeah. And then is our discussion, and I will give you some questions to inspire your thoughts, and you only need to share your opinions. And I don't know uh have you like searched online about the author, and I just want you to share your opinions about the author, the book, and um anything about the historical background of the book and its author. Have you searched, Tina? Have you searched?
A little bit
Yeah.
about the book. Well, the book is just like first of all, maybe the writer William Golding, he taught in a school before the outbreak of World War II, and also he after the outbreak of the Second World War, he joined the Royal Navy in 1940, and after the World War II, he went back to school to teach and write. And although the manuscript was rejected many times, but after the 20th rejection by the publisher, he debuted the novel Lord of the Flies in 1954 and caused a huge sensation in the British literary world. And actually, I found two aspects like about the incentives of writing the story. First of all, is the experience of military life made him doubt about the human nature, because he just had the personal experiences about the Second World War, and that made him gradually shake and wonder about the human nature, what human nature really is. And in his view, the man's inability to know his own nature is just dangerous. And he believes that as a writer, his task is to help the people to make our selves understand and face our own nature. And the second aspect is that he taught for about 10 years, and that gave him a better understanding of the nature of teenagers and kids. And after years of observation and research, he found that if it is not the teacher's education and timely stop, if there are no rules and regulations for the children, many of them will just fight or commit barbaric acts, and that will truly hurt themselves as well as others.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It describes the author's personal experience and its contribution toward the book. And are there anything to add? Maybe Jackie or Jasmine, do you have any other thoughts?
Can I add the setting of the novel?
Yeah, please.
It takes place during the 1950s on an unspecified and uninhabited tropical island in the Pacific. The story is also set in the midst of the World War involving Great Britain, and after the boys' plane is shot out of the sky by enemy fighters, they crash land onto an uninhabited tropical island. The landscape of the island is rather forgiving with like plenty of woods everywhere, and a thick jungle makes up the topography of the surface. And there is also a visible scar that runs through the forest, and which was actually caused by the plane crash. And also, I wanna talk about the let me spy about the novel. It was often considered an allegory for the innate evil contained within the mankind, as Tina has mentioned. But the story had a big publication question, and it was one of the wrecks to initially rejected for publication and labeled as dull and uninspiring. And I think the author really experienced a lot to show it to the public uh, during the process.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, that's pretty much all of the background and the setting. And yeah, the second one I have here is how would you interpret the title Lord of Flies? Why do you think the author choose the word Lord and the word flies? Jackie?
The reason um, I think the flies, I think it is like also a kind of a symbol. I think in the latest paragraph, and I think there's the dead pig. I think the group of Jack, put the pig head, like on some space and some like something, and the flies was also like around the pig's head. And I think while I think this can resemble like Jack is like changing, like he's becoming like in empire, like doing something uh like the things he can, what he said is they must do, and he's the king of the island.
Yeah. Um, you gave an interpretation of Lord, and yeah, I think another word, the flies, I think it represents like the disobedience and the um the nature of the boys. They're like without a leader, even if Ralph is in charge of everything, they just run around and act like flies, and they don't stick to the plan. And um yeah, that's pretty much. And since we're running out of time, I'll just go straight to the question section. And the first question is, what happened to the outside world when the plane was carrying boys? And Tina?
Well, it's just like the setting. In the midst of a wartime evacuation, a British aeroplane crashes on an island on the remote region of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, actually, the outside war is they're experiencing an atom bomb explosion because Piggy mentioned it in like chapter 2 in their meetings, like the outside world, there are many bombs exploding, and um we can predict that there is a very severe war going outside. And um, the second one is who are the three people running for the leaders? Still Tina?
There are Ralph, Piggy, and Jack.
Yeah, Ralph, everyone except Piggy and the chore voted for Ralph, and Jack, he has the chore's support, and there's Piggy. Yeah. And why do you think was Piggy upset upon being called his name, being called Piggy?
Because when he was still at school, the student around him just call him Piggy, but he doesn't quite like that nickname. And he trusted Ralph and tell him that he was named Piggy, but Ralph began to whoop it up and let everybody know, which is like disturbing a little bit.
Yeah, since he already told Ralph that he don't want to be called as Piggy, but Ralph still did it, and it pretty much made him upset. And um, the next one is the kind of illness that Piggy has. What do you think he has?
He has asthma and it's like a illness he cannot catch his breath, according to him.
Yeah, and he's also very fat, and this it makes him like unable to run very fast. Yeah. And then is what do you think is the thing standing for authority on the island among the boys, and how did Ralph make use of it? Jackie?
I think the conch shell stands for the authority on the island, and Ralph makes good use of it by using it to call meetings and maintain order among the boys. He also uses it to as I think a symbol of authority and civilization, reminding them of the rules and norms they must follow.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And Ralph also used the conch to like, um, the one holding the conch has the right to speak, and he uses this to maintain orders. And also, when did the boys encounter the first pig they saw? Jackie?
I think when did they count? I think after when they are first away. Can you pardon the question? My internet isn't that good.
It's when did the boys encounter the first pig?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think after Simon was saying he was hungry and they all feel hungry and when they began to enter the forest and plumping along a small path and they heard the steps and they suddenly like heard a noise and short screams and when they get closer and they find it is a small pig like was in the lure in on the past and which was like tracked by something tracked by sick winds.
Yeah, it's trapped by the creepers, and
Creepers, yes.
yeah, the three boys met this first pig on their adventure, their exploration of the island. And um uh yeah, how did the three boys who went on the adventure, they found out that there are animals existing on the island? Are there any like evidence or things that represent it?
I think it appears in the first passage, and it is the three people, which is Rolf, Simon, and Jack. When they're climb up the cliffs, and they find a ground, and there are many narrow trails winding their way up, and these trails are deep in world flora, and children can climb up when they climb up they find like there's like a small path and in the passage the Ralph asked Jack which is whether it is created by human and Jack says it's not it is created by animals.
Yeah, the track on the rocks, it's represent that there are animals other than the boys on the island. Yeah. And why did the pig that was trapped in the creepers escaped? Jackie?
Because, yes, and because the little pig, actually, I think it is the problem of Jack, and because it is the first time they met the pig, and um, like Jack, I think it is the first time, and I think Jack is lack of brave on stabbing living things, and for fear of the blood that will spurt out.
Yeah, it is that Jack hesitated when he first wanted to draw down his knife to the pig, and it is, I think it's represents Jack's like inexperienced as a hunter, and it enables us to like do make a comparison between the Jack who first saw a pig and later when he actually becomes a hunter. Yeah. And next is, what was the excuse that Jack came up with when the first pig slipped away? Jasmine?
Uh, like when the boys attempt to kill the first pig, they fail, and Jack comes up with an excuse for their failures, and that is he claims that he let the first pig go because he just wanted to give the others a head start and have a more exciting hunt. Yeah, and this is his excuse.
Yeah, and he also said that he was choosing the right place and deciding where to stab, and that's why he hesitated so long, and why the pig slipped away. And um and then is what did the boys use to light the fire up? Like what
Is
to
is it like the use of flint and steel to light the fire?
um Actually, no. It was mentioned in the plots, and yeah, it's from another boy among the boys, and you can have a guess if you don't remember it. Jasmine?
Uh, Maybe I will find it out as a last of the discussion. I'm still finding it.
Okay. We'll let you think. And the next question is what kind of thing did the little ones say that is horrifying, and how did the elder ones react to this description?
It is maybe the this says that is horrifying is a beast that they claim to have seen, and they also describe it as a creature that like comes at night and terrifies them. And um but all of them is just imagination. And the older boy, like Ralph and Jack, they react differently to his claims. Like Ralph tries to um tell others that there is actually no real beast exist on the island, while uh, Jack takes the advantage of their fear to strengthen his control and influence over the group.
Yeah, and um, yeah, your answer about the reactions is about in the little ones is correct, but the part of Jack is Jack he actually said that beast like that beast with mm, that bulky volume. It's also they only exist on like large continents or zoos. They can't live on such a small island like the one they're living in right now. Yeah, and what happened between Ralph and Jack on the topic of smoke and hunting, and what did they argue? Jasmine.
Um, so like Ralph, who he emphasizes the significance of keeping a signal fire burning on the mountain to increase the chances of being rescued by passing ships. And he believes that the smoke from the fire will act as a signal and attract potential rescuers. So he thinks it is very important and necessary for the hunting. And while Jack is more focused on hunting, and uh, he considers the fire as less important, and also argues that hunting is essential for their survival, and it provides a source of like food. And uh Jack's priorities begin to shift towards the thrill of hunting and the desire to prove his strength. And this actually leading to a tension between him and Roth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. And the thing is that Jack constantly repeat that um I need meat, we want meat, and his desire to hunt and to get abundant meat is like um it's a bit it's a bit toxic, I think, and he neglected all the other important things to survive and to be rescued. And while Ralph, he always says that we need to keep the fire going in case there's a ship uh, that comes near, and that's our only opportunity of getting rescued. Yeah. And that's pretty much all we need to discuss, and you've all done a great job discussing and answering the questions. And um, the second last part is our exit tickets, and the question I chose is number 2, and it's what do you want to discuss in your book club meeting next time?
I would like to, because as we can see, the meeting today is actually longer than we expected, and maybe we want to shorten some of the time about the reading check ideas because the recommended time is about 5 to 10 minutes of the book meeting. But as I observed, I think that there are about 20 minutes on this topic. So maybe we can shorten the time of this session next week and then discuss the content is good and we don't need to modify any of them. So maybe just shortening the time of reading check ideas and others is okay.
Yeah. What about Jackie?
I think pretty much same as Tina.
The time is too long. Yeah. Jasmine?
Or maybe we can like have more very creative questions. Yeah, and also the time issue.
Yeah, I also think we spend too much time on answering the questions instead of discussing the really interesting things, which is our own thoughts and interpretation of the plot. So I think maybe next time we will have less questions. Maybe every member will only be assigned to 2 questions, and we will have more time in the discussion session. And maybe the arrangements of the meeting also need to be changed. Maybe put the questions in advance, and we will have the discussion at uh, as the last part because then we can adjust to the content according to the time. Yeah. And the last thing, please welcome our next host Tina to assign our next week's um, reading goals and what other missions we need to do. Yeah.
And the next week requirement is just similar to this week's, and we need to read 3 more chapters. And excuse me, and maybe we will just have less time spent on the questions, like maybe 2 people per question, and the reading check ideas. I may just also choose 2 questions and we can discuss, and it is not that time consuming. And also, I would just discuss about the basic, maybe something interesting and also like easier to discuss with during the session and just ensure that the total minute is about 40 minutes, and that's all.
Yeah, thank you, Tina. And that's pretty much all for our meeting today. And yeah, and I think we can end here and say goodbye to your group members. Bye. Yeah, see you tomorrow.